CAPED is Community Action Platform on Environment and Development. It is a community organization that was registered in 2009. The rationale or the idea behind CAPED is as a result of the environmental degradation that is taking place around this area. We saw things that needed quick intervention in our community. Like previous speakers have talked about the salt intrusion into rice fields that have rendered most of the arable lands, once arable lands, almost infertile and not arable for agricultural purposes.
Mankol, me yalon ko badala. Mankol fatale. Kojio le fa. Nduo kojio bira nyi mankol fa. Anata batandere oke musolla ila farabulolla. Because jio seltanane fo musolla farolto je abe damentu bi ibuka mano do kuno je ay baraka.
Obviously, environment is very key in any development. So, immediately when Modu came with this idea of restoring the mangrove and looking at the importance of mangroves to our society, we didn't waste time. We came together and supported him. And each time he comes here, he always do have the support of the whole community. We come out to go in large numbers and do this planting exercise.
Sintet musole inin seno hamolam doron min sama ko cuk nkatara hamerin sama do wala bari na farolu ko misal fi mankola daso farolu ko kumo ke di batande bakel
kabrinte be dindiyala kabrinte mama jamano akanyin bale dem mama botaje fama na tawo fana di senti o botaje sa ndefan wala biji bodin ba tan so rin ba ne madale de man ko bija wato me hani nye ko ku jalol warama ba ka tan wala kam.
So we saw that it is really paying dividends. We have restored at least 30 hectares of land that was lost to salt intrusion. And the women have now started recultivating those areas because during high tides, salt water spills over into the rice fields. We all know that our women do their planting around the swampy areas around the rivers. So that is where they have their rice fields, commonly known as our furrows.
Mpanan katara jikiri nyinela na hamo kadu sama kono ngadu kuoke puru ni sennin na dimbali tambindi nya sono yandi baon kamano le doku mani juno sa doku ni nga doku kar saba mano ni ya doku ni nema futata kaira kono kar sabu obe kum fala daw e ka bara mano do mole ini la dimbali so do monole na siata baon be jamano min to sai dol ka doku ko dol do kake ni te mari mani jama sotono.
Like the mangroves have a lot of components, a lot of benefits come along with the mangrove project, not only restoring the damaged ecosystem, not only contributing our quotas toward fighting climate change, but also, like we said, rice is our staple food. So if we are able to reclaim vast areas of land or vast hectares of land that we are lost to salt intrusion, that is another plus to us. This will in turn increase agricultural productivity. And then people will become at least food self-sufficient. Even if they are not able to get enough to sell, but they will have enough to consume.
Because ntola balu bebe senole bala, surtout musol, ni atra bi koye tola farol beta, o musate wala mantoro lati. Anata jung nyim projet ko la kuoto, ala nata baraka kije, ay projet ko samana sate molie, sate fonin kiol fanan lota fe, ka jeko, aske kuti meyalonko, nafa kulem, meyalonko abe sate o, amanke akmoti, bara sate wala nafa, make akfang la kumola, bara sate la nafa, abe wale noma, wala tina nyim projet ko samana.
Well, our focus and our main goal is to plant at least 10 million mangrove saplings along the river bank and create at least 7 kilometers of mangrove forest along the river bank.
You know, I work in tourism, and believe me, there are people that travel long to come to Gambia and just to see one single bird. So it's very important. Mangroves are very important. Like river birds, like fish eagles, like palm-nut vultures, like kingfishers and so on. Find them in the mangroves.
So the main objective is to restore the damaged ecosystem. Our ecosystem is already damaged, that is one. And we also want to contribute our quota towards fighting climate change, which is also that. So mangroves absorb a lot of carbon. So we emit a lot of carbon as humans, not only from us, but also from the things that we use, either our industries, our machines, and a lot of other things. So we need trees to absorb that carbon, and we need the trees to give us the oxygen that we need. So it's a symbiotic kind of relationship where you give and take.
Mangrove is a win-win situation. It's got lots of benefits. You can have firewood from it. The oysters cling onto the roofs of the mangroves. And you know, women go out in dugout canoes to fish these oysters for food. And the oysters themselves, very rich in calcium, and can be crushed to make chicken food. It's very good for the shells of the chicken. But also, it could be crushed into lime to be used for painting, whitewashing the houses. And in the olden days, it is used to plaster the houses. They mix it with mud and a bit of cement to plaster the houses. But again, in the olden days, they'll mix it with cockle shells to build our roads. So obviously, and this all comes from the mangroves. What is in the pipeline is to build an ecotourism center in the mangroves, and that's another importance of the mangroves. So that is in the pipeline. So once that's done, then obviously that will attract a lot of tourists, but also employment to the community. Presently, what we have to offer to the tourists is the wildlife, the birds and the wildlife. That's what we have to offer.
When we started this in 2009, we really did a lot of advocacy. A lot of sensitization campaigns were done in the intervention communities. Sintet particularly, we've had series of meetings with the community people where our elders would talk about how our ecosystem used to look like before the mangroves died down of the mangroves. So these young children, including myself, have had that opportunity. I mean, I'm not a child, but I'm a youth who didn't witness the diverse nature of our ecosystem, how it used to look like before. Because when I was born, when I grew up to see only empty lands. There were no mangroves. So that is something that CAPET did a lot. We did a lot of advocacy to make sure that the young children, like you saw, a lot of children that came, some of them are primary school children. And we've allocated a special land that every year that is dedicated to them, because they did it and they saw that it is paying dividend, because every time you do it, the next year you go back there, you are going to see it. So the mangroves is really very inspiring.
Ngajiko sotoji bao mango na yiruwata akama fu posono yandi. Nga londo fanan soto ntol musol sa ningi manko to programo be nyin sata ko no jam. Nganna haji ko ton le tuji par musu jama ka mabel sakora musu fondin ciol. Nga kenna do koti nin ciol be tara manko to la bada. Because of sobita la nafala. Bawo nafa begi iste nyo sota nyam. Manko na be birere ha jise o se soto nyo se sota kon pour ma fo e ba jela be minke la ma foti fo sa akeno business o fanantile sa tawla yirwa keso ka wulinti
initially wotumo nyimbadala ni be banta jang ibuka jeje wotumo mankol be betari ibuka dulaje mankoli ya be dibindi jiobu ko jiobu ka access sotono kana ka sele farolto pour ka farol tinya bar birin ni mankol fata tinyaro nata ko jie farol beta.
So you have seen that the Mangrove Restoration Project was able to bring together the women that are feeling the effects of climate change. So these women are able to come along under one umbrella. also the fishermen. Like we've got a lot of people who abandon the fishing trade. A lot of people who abandon the fishing trade as a result of the lack of mangroves, because they need to sell upstream. They have to sell upstream to be able to come up with a good catch because of the lack of mangrove. But since the mangroves came back, we've had fishermen that they only have to go for a few hours or minutes to come home with a good catch. So this will in turn inspire a lot of other fishermen who are runaway fishermen, who abandon the fishing trade, to come back. It will inspire them to come back and start thinking of going back to the fishing industry. And that alone is entrepreneurship, because they will have to get something to feed for home consumption, but most of 70 or 80% of the fishes that they catch from the river, they are selling it for commercial purposes, which will in turn help them pay for the school fees of their children, help support their families in different ways.
Because ninyo siada, sabla no business o konole, so bade malali nyinno la ngakunu sang ngadi bade malali, kanyew dema, sata wala yirwa kafoye, ninyo dema da, ndo wafita dadi ma, ndo sate dungli, ndang koton, ase wafi ni price la price o mi yalon ko, ngada jale nyo fa ngabla sata wala keso ko.
Ndo la balu ndo fama ndo mama kabiri ndo mama jamano intul ay fama balu di mbale kono ndo fama fana ndo balu di mbale kono bari bi ndo buka balu no mba kono de buka balu no mba kono atina le fam jalo somta nga pagle nga turwelo tika nga ta masoya because of fende fo kubuga ma ba ko ande ndo fama ma wolo ndo fama ndo ku katalo mbare ay ndo balu ndo wala fo alayata.
These are the type of people that we use when we are doing our advocacy, because he's somebody who comes from a fishing background. He has his ancestors, from his grandparents to his parents to himself. So this was something that was inherited, and it was passed down to lineage through a lineage system. And that guy, like he said, when the fishing industry was dying down, or he had no option, he was left with no option than to pick up the trowel. What we meant by pick up the trowel was to go and learn another trade. In this case, was as a messenger. And he started learning that trade as a messenger, so that he wouldn't sit down and have nothing to put on the table. So he's just telling us that recently also he have just placed the trowel. That is, he's thinking of doing away with being a messenger and going back to a trade that he inherited, something that he loves doing, something that he knows from childhood. So that is something. These are the type of people that we took during our advocacy campaigns, during our sensitization campaigns, and they will talk to the communities, talk to the young people about the importance of the mangroves. The biggest challenge we have so far is getting partners and getting people to fund our initiatives. Since inception, we have had 3 organizations that we are partnering with. We had Heeno International, that is an international organization that is run by Professor Karamo Sonko, who is also the executive chairman of TAF Global. He runs Heeno International, and he funded a project, the Mangrove Restoration Project, in 2001. So having access to funding is one of our biggest challenges that we face. Recently, since 2015, since I was a Mandela Washington Fellow, the U.S. Embassy, through its Alumni Engagement Fund, started funding this project since 2015. And since then, every year, they give us grant through the Alumni Engagement Funds, of which I can access as an alumni of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So great thanks goes to U.S. Embassy that funded 60% of the Mangrove Restoration Project. Because like I said, since 2015, 16, 17, and 18, and this year, 2019, all these restorations were funded by them and supported by them. So having access to funds is one of our biggest challenges, because besides the U.S. Embassy, since 2015, it's only Heeno International.
Mbo dandro ke kam manko tutoto, manko dapan soto, yen sembentu yala, ahamo bentolet, ha, ntol musole mbe parer nga kola, na kibaro finde danan ko manko programo, muso be haji lanka tenkundi jele, ngadunga manko programo kon. Ba so bita nyina ko na sama yiruwala ba kon ntoliye anin dingulye anin mamarungulye ba na fami be sotolaje ate dan nan tol dammala so wala ate nambe hamer ngala ana fa ko ay nan feja nana tan feja ba mu dala anin baraka ngado ko tamanda nyama nyanta tamala nyama ni ala sonde.
Well, what we need to reach our goal of or our target of planting 10 million mangroves is getting volunteers and getting the partners and also getting the will from the communities, because it's not only us going outside and meeting communities and saying this is what we are doing. It has to come from the communities. You need to see the readiness in them. You need to see that they are prepared to take ownership of the projects. Like if CAPT do intervention in any community, CAPT may not be presently there or physically there to make sure that the project is sustained. So giving ownership to the communities and the communities being ready to take ownership of the projects is one thing. Also, another thing is, besides this sustainability aspect of it, like I said, I will still need to reiterate about funding, because without funds, I mean, we cannot do this. CAPT is not a profitable organization. So, one of the speakers said here, it is purely voluntary. So whatever we do, we are doing it for the common good, and we are doing it for the future generation. So this is not profit making. The little funds that we have, we invest in them on the restorations and on our projects. So having partners is something that I will really need to reiterate.
Before 2009, production declined because of the intrusion, salt intrusion into the fields. But after 2009, production increased by about 10–15%. So that's a significant improvement.
Harodol sanji fula saba ko man pe duka doku. Sai ise doku nole. Soto e kenye. Bao jiseo soto kanjere. Jiseo be soto kanjere.
Nimbangu tuto okay, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wo ma ko ba. Yes. Adu bajala ko nimbangu tuto naka fujanni ala ben to do kelanya. Na ba mu me lafta be kala makko. Na tan asembobe. Yes.
So I am very hopeful, because 90% of the people that converge today and that have always been doing this project are the youth and the children. So the most refreshing and reassuring aspect of it is having these children come physically and firsthand seeing what is happening. Like I said, planting this sense of ownership to the communities is going to help us. So they will not see it as a carpet project, okay, carpet came here, they did this, they are gone. But they will also see it like it is them. It's in their river, it's in their communities, it's affecting them, affecting our parents, affecting everyone. So that sense of ownership is already planted among the little children, and these are the future leaders.